We've been programmed to believe that conflicts in marriage are bad. That's not true. Conflicts in marriage can bring us to new levels of healing and growth that we would never experience otherwise. A dream marriage is a true partnership where you find the healing and wholeness you're looking for. Conflicts are what provide opportunity for that. There are 4 reasons conflicts provide our best opportunities to heal and grow. Number 1, we marry our imago. Imago is the Latin word for image. Dr. Harville Hendricks coined the term to refer to an image we carry around in our unconscious minds. And in order for us to fall in love with someone, that person must match that image, or we simply don't fall for them. The imago consists of 2 things, the positive and negative traits of our early caretakers and the lost parts of ourselves. That is, the skills in our thinking, feeling, and sensing and doing that we never developed growing up. All of the childhood development theories tell us that children create these representations in their minds, pictures of their caretakers. This picture recedes into our unconscious and becomes what we now know, according to modern science, a neural network in our lower brain, back in our brain stem and limbic system. Because this part of our brain only sees images, this imago is kind of like a Monet painting. It's a fuzzy image that's a composite of our parents' positive and negative traits. So as you seek a life partner, this image filters out of consideration most everyone whose traits are not similar to your early caretakers. And it draws you to a person who not only matches your parents' traits, but also one who exhibits those disowned and denied and lost parts of yourself. I can imagine you're thinking, really? Let's say you meet someone who is beautiful or handsome or smart. They seem compatible with you and they share common interests with you. Think of how many people you've met like that. I would say probably hundreds in most cases. But have you noticed that no matter how great they are, if they don't have, for example, your father's anger or your mother's depression or the withholding nature of a grandmother who helped parent you, they are absolutely, totally uninteresting. Sure, this is a theory, but I'm finding it to be true more and more as I continue to practice imago couples therapy based on this concept. When a person comes along who matches these traits, especially the negative traits, your lower brain signals the release of the chemicals that cause you to fall blindly in love. Take Mario and Rosa, for example. Mario's mother had many positive traits, including loyalty, and some negative traits, including depression and detachment. And as the third born of 4 children, Mario grew up feeling left out and invisible. Lost in the chaos surrounding a single mom struggling to meet the needs of 4 children, he often felt abandoned. Nothing his mom did wrong, it's just that's what happened. His way of surviving that one was to always be in control and to be aggressive enough to get the attention he needed. So who does he marry? Rosa, who has traits similar to his mom. Mario was drawn to Rosa's loyalty, and later he discovered her depression and her distant nature triggered his old wounds of abandonment. Rosa matched Mario's imago. Well, what about Rosa's imago? How was Mario a match for her? Rosa's father had many positive traits, including working hard, and some negative traits, including anger and the need to be in control. She learned early on to stay out of the way, to detach emotionally and avoid the conflict that seemed to be always surrounding her dad. And who does she marry? Mario, who has traits similar to her dad. But Rosa was drawn to Mario's hardworking nature, but later she discovered that his angry outburst and controlling nature triggered her old wounds and fear of closeness. Okay, this sounds crazy. Why would I be drawn to someone who triggers my pain and brings out the worst in me? That's a great question, but trust me, this will all make sense. When you meet your imago, you become intensely attracted. You fall in love because your lower brain signals the okay to release the dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, stuff like that into your system. That's when you realize there's chemistry between you. When Rosa and Mario fell in love, they felt fully alive and they saw in vivid color. They felt like they had finally arrived. They felt like they had found someone who's not only understands me, but is willing to meet all my needs. In this drugged up condition, they were totally unaware of how the negative traits of each other would eventually affect each other. Can you relate? This is called romantic fantasy, and it doesn't last. The drugs wear off, and the rose-colored glasses are soon ripped from our face. And that's what happened to Mario and Rosa about 9 months into their relationship and their marriage. After they said, "I do," the romance began to fade and the power struggle began. When Rosa felt the slightest inkling of Mario's anger and control, she would do what? Detach in order to emotionally feel safe. This is what she learned to do growing up with a father who could explode at any provocation. Rosa's withdrawal, guess what that would do? It would then trigger more of Mario's anger and controlling behavior. It activated the lonely feelings he felt when his mother couldn't be there for him. He learned to be aggressive to get what he needed growing up, and you can probably guess how it went down from there. Mario's angry reaction triggered more withdrawal in Rosa, causing him to be even more angry and controlling, and it was game on, the power struggle. A destructive cycle of cat and mouse. It was Mario overly aggressive in his pursuit of connection, and Rosa withdrawing in her fear of connection. Rosa and Mario fell in love, not just because Rosa was beautiful and Mario was handsome, or any of those normal reasons we imagine, but in a large part because they were an imago match. Becoming aware of their imago match was the first step towards seeing conflict as the key to healing and growth. The second step was for them to realize, number 2, our unconscious relationship agenda is to heal the past. This matching of imagos is driven by an agenda to heal past wounds. It's actually 2 lower brains colluding to fulfill nature's drive to heal wounded emotions. You say, what? That's right. Rosa's lower brain perceived Mario as the one because he was similar to her dad. He could activate the old wounds she experienced from her dad's anger. All right, now you're talking crazy. How could this be a good thing? It's good because experts tell us that our emotional wounds heal best when they're activated by someone similar to the one who caused the wound. If this person triggers that old pain and then this person responds in a healing way, in a different way, rather than a hurtful way or the normal way that you were used to, nothing can facilitate your healing better than this. This is why marriage is the best place to find healing, better than any therapist alone can facilitate. So now consider Rosa's need for healing. Rosa's unconscious agenda was to, for Mario, when triggered, that he wouldn't explode, but he would respond in a different way. She needed Mario, instead of reacting, to be present with her when she felt like pulling away, when she was fearful of intimacy, to make it safe for her not to pull away, to stay connected with him. Her hope, and of course her real reason for falling in love, was that Mario would heal the wound that her father's anger inflicted. This is the love that Rosa always secretly longed for, and she discovered that the best person to give her that love and help her heal the past was Mario, the one who happened to have the greatest potential to bring her more pain. That was Rosa's need for healing. What about Mario's need for healing? Mario's unconscious relationship agenda was that Rosa, when triggered, would not withdraw like his mom did, but that she would respond differently and stay present with him. His hope, and of course his real reason for falling in love, was that Rosa's presence would heal the wound that his mom's emotional distance inflicted. This is the love that Mario always secretly longed for. And he discovered that Rosa, while being the least capable person to give that love, was the best person on the planet to help him heal the past as she learned to give him that love. The couple's dialogue provided a process for them both to validate each other, to empathize with each other in a way that began to turn their conflicts into this kind of healing and growth connection. And here's a wonderful reality that brings lots of hope. Our lower brain doesn't register time. It exists in the present tense. Therefore, when you finally get the love you want, your brain doesn't complain, saying you're too late. Should have happened 15 years ago. That's what I needed when I was little. No, it says, wow, I'm finally getting what I always needed, and healing begins. So, conflict becomes an opportunity for healing when we discover our unconscious agenda to heal the past. And there's a final reason to embrace conflict. Number 3, our unconscious relationship agenda is to grow toward wholeness. Now let's consider quickly Mario's need for growth. Rosa's need for healing was a call to Mario to grow in the skills needed to regulate his anger and patiently wait for Rosa to respond to his need for connection. It was Mario's growth in this respect that would bring healing to Rosa. This required Mario to stretch and grow and discover a part of himself that was there all along, but was lost or never developed growing up. And as Rosa learned to voice her frustration in the form of a positive request, Mario grew in his ability to regulate his anger and let go of his need to be in control. Wow, this made it safe for Rosa to stay present with him. All right, that was Mario's need for growth. What about Rosa's need for growth? Mario's need for healing was a call for Rosa to grow in her ability to stay present with him, to not be that turtle going into the shell, but to be present and overcome her fear of closeness. And it was Rosa's growth in this way that would bring healing to Mario. So as Mario voiced his frustration in the form of positive requests, Rosa grew in her ability to lower her walls of protection and become vulnerable and emotionally present with Mario. She learned the skills needed to share her feelings in a way that helped her gradually overcome her fear of intimacy. From Rosa and Mario's example, we can see that your marriage partner's need for healing provides a great blueprint for your own growth, and vice versa. Conflict is a sign that growth is needing to happen. Conflict is a sign that it's something new is wanting to emerge in your life and in your relationship. It's your partner's need that points to that specific area you need to grow most. When you can give your partner the very things you feel you just can't give because you never developed that ability, you end up getting a piece of yourself you never had before. And partners who grow by stretching into these new caring behaviors, they often report feeling more fully alive than they ever have before. And it seems like they benefit even more than the partner who receives healing. So let me ask you, what about you? Is your relationship in conflict? Has your romantic love faded, turning your dream marriage into a nightmare? Does it seem like falling in love was simply nature's way of getting you to hook up permanently with the most incompatible person on the planet? Are you asking, well, why would nature drive me into the arms of someone who ends up frustrating me to no end? Well, now you know. It was your inner drive to heal past hurts and to discover and grow lost parts of yourself that caused you to fall in love. And there's no better person to heal and grow with than the one you're with right now.